for the first time on Job on the Mouth. Let's give him a golf clap. Jeff Nelson.
You know, it's funny because actually, you know, I have always respected what Joba has done through his career. And I don't really know if I always came out to Old Timers Day, and then you guys stayed in the clubhouse. I don't even know if I ever met you as a Yankee. I always respected you as what you did.
I got you once.
Once, okay.
Yep, I got you.
I always loved what you did.
Because I never realized how big you really were. And I was
like, you're massive.
I was like, oh shit, Nellie's big.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I mean, because as a baseball fan, I was like, all right. And I seen what you did, and I'm like, that's why I had to wear this shirt today. You have to.
Exactly.
You got to. You have a guy like your stature on this show. With what we've done, like, we're special individuals. We know that. And I was like, I remember at Old Timers Day, like there's so many things about Old Timers Day, and I hope they bring it back at some point. I really do. But it's like Whitey Ford drinking a Bud Heavy, like literally not caring. He's like, me and Yogi need to go sit on the couch, and I need my Bud Heavies. And then I remember just watching you, like, and obviously I was a Braves fan growing up, so that you really kind of crushed my dreams a little bit.
Now, Joba, did you play in the old stadium?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you, when you were there, when they had Old Timers Day, I don't remember, because when I was there and they had Old Timers Day, the old timers used to dress in our clubhouse.
Yep.
So Steinbrenner used to make everyone dress in our clubhouse.
We missed that do. We missed that Joe Dirt do that you had over there in Seattle.
Joe Dirte.
Yes.
No, I only had the mullet 1 year, and that was like '93 when it was like business on top and the party in back. So that was only 1 year. I had an earring. I don't know what the hell was going on back then.
You were in Seattle.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't New York.
Is there
you had some characters there, though.
Yeah.
Is it some truth that you have a nipple ring? I don't know. I mean, somebody told me that you might have a nipple ring.
I did have a teammate that had a nipple ring, and that might have been David Justice that had 2 nipple rings. So, and he was actually, you know, it's so funny, and I know Job has been involved in this as well, is that you play against guys that you wonder, I mean, you love to be teammates with them, and then all of a sudden they kind of rub you the wrong way. And like Justice was one of those guys that he never talked to the opposing team. He was like, oh, this guy's a real, you know, a whatever. And he came over to us in 2000, and he was an unbelievable teammate, one of my best teammates that I've ever had. And, you know, those type of guys that you look on the other side, you said, this guy I can't stand, winds up being some of your best teammates if they wind up being on your team.
I have a question for you. And you look at what the Yankees have done over the years, and the Yankees haven't won a championship. What now? It's going on 15 years. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long way. It's actually going on 16 years. Why have the Yankees failed to get over the hump from all those Yankee championships that we saw in the 90s on the teams that you were on, and even in the mid-2000s when the Yankees were practically always in the World Series? Why have the Yankees had so many problems getting over the hump?
You know, I think once the boss passed away, I think it became more of a business and more about, hey, you know, not that they didn't want to have a championship, not that they didn't want to win a World Series. It was about, okay, how do we structure this team and structure this organization about trying to compete? Because they, you know, you look, I mean, what was it, 30 straight years that they had an over 500 record, and, you know, what, 28 of those 30 years they made the playoffs, or 29 they made the playoffs. So they were always in it, and I think it was just they were missing pieces. When the boss was there, Mr. Steinbrenner, George Steinbrenner, there wasn't any pieces missing. You know, there was great players, there was great teams on other organizations, but we didn't miss a piece. We didn't miss what we needed to get over the hump. And I think when you go and you look at the 09 team, they had a great team, but going forward, they were always missing something, whether it was injuries or adding that player or adding that right player, whether it was bad contracts trying to sign or trying to make that trade during July. They were always coming up short. when other teams weren't. And I think in New York, sometimes the fans or even the organization got a little complacent. When you win so many times, the expectation level, you almost expect, okay, hey, we're getting to the playoffs, and all we have to do is get in, and anything can happen. But a lot of times, yeah, anything can happen, and a lot of times you got beat, and you weren't always the Yankees of the past. And I think they got too complacent. I think they got not cocky, but too confident in a sport that you know, in any sport, you just can't get too confident.
Like where do you think, like, when it comes to that, of like the winning culture of developing those guys, and how important that is of having that young energy? Because I remember when nobody knew who the hell I was, because I was only in the minor leagues for 2.5 months, and then I was in the big leagues, and you know, things changed. But what did you think of these young guys sparking energy that came up, and having core guys that came up together makes that organization be what they are?
Yeah, you know, you guys were talking earlier about the Dodgers and how good they are and what they've done this year, and about, okay, can you name one homegrown guy? You know, maybe Will Smith, the catcher. You know, who knows? I mean, there might be others. Maybe some pitchers. But you look back then, and you say the core four, and I got to add Bernie Williams to that, because he was such a huge component. And
Hall of Famer or not, Nellie? Hall of Famer or not?
I mean, he could. You know, I think if you look at the core four, I think if you look at Jorge Posada and the numbers that he has put up compared to some of the catchers that are in the Hall of Fame, I think he probably deserves it. I think Bernie could be a real question mark as far as on that fence, and really surprised that he didn't last too long on the ballot. You know, you have Andy Pettitte. You know what he's done now that you have the HGH and all the controversy with his name. You know, guys sometimes aren't going to get in. They're going to have, I mean, there's guys in the Hall of Fame that have done steroids and HGH. So, you know, let's get over it. You either add them or you don't. Yeah, you know, Roger Clemens belongs. You know, you look at Barry Bonds belongs. I mean, these guys are freaking, you know, HGH and steroids are not making you a better player. You know, they're players for the reason, they're superstars for a reason. And I understand why everybody takes offense and whatever, as far as they tested positive. You go back, Joba and you guys, you know, you go back to when I played and how the development and the money, and money's a big part of what happens today. You develop minor league players, and when you went through the minor league system, it was all about winning. It wasn't, they developed you as a player, but they developed you as a winner. And the Yankees, and I never understood it because I came from the Marin organization, and I hated the Yankees. I hated them when I grew up in Baltimore. I hated them.
Me too.
Then.
Me too.
And I hated them when I played, until I went over to and got traded to the Yankees in 96.
Jeff, I did like you. I don't know about now.
It's the Yankee way, Jeff. It's the Yankee way.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. I mean, and it was instilled in you, and Steinbrenner instilled in everyone. This is how we do things. It's about winning. It's about, you go through the minor league system and you develop as a player, but you develop as a winner. And you know, most organizations,
and you still don't have a beard, Nellie. You still don't have a beard.
No, I know. I probably
Job will loan you some hair.